A conspiracy theory is supposed to be ridiculous. Tinfoil hats, basement forums, wild guesses. Until one day, it turns out to be true. Governments have lied. Corporations have hidden things. Entire populations have been unknowingly experimented on. And the strangest part? At the time, anyone who questioned it sounded crazy. Here are 5 conspiracy theories that were once dismissed and later confirmed. Let's start in 1971. A small group of activists broke into an FBI office in Pennsylvania. They weren't thieves, they were ordinary citizens, teachers, students, parents. They stole documents. Inside those files was proof of a secret FBI program called COINTELPRO. For years, the FBI had been spying on civil rights leaders, anti-war activists, even private citizens. They planted false information, tried to ruin reputations, sent anonymous letters to break up marriages, all to neutralize dissent. If you had said the government was secretly sabotaging its own citizens, you would have been laughed out of the room, until the documents proved it. And suddenly, the paranoid didn't look so paranoid. Next, imagine being told your government would secretly give you a disease just to study it. That sounds monstrous. In 1932, the U.S. Public Health Service began what became known as the Tuskegee Syphilis Study. Hundreds of black men were told they were receiving free medical treatment. They weren't. Doctors deliberately withheld treatment for syphilis, even after penicillin became widely available in the 1940s. They wanted to observe the natural progression of the disease. The study continued for 40 years. 40. It only ended in 1972 after a whistleblower exposed it to the press. For decades, suspicion toward medical institutions was dismissed as irrational. Then, history said otherwise. Now let's go colder. The Gulf of Tonkin, 1964. The U.S. government announced that North Vietnamese forces had attacked American ships. The incident was used to justify escalating the Vietnam War. Congress passed the Gulf of Tonkin resolution almost immediately. There was just one problem. The second attack likely never happened. Declassified documents later revealed that intelligence was misrepresented, key details were ignored, doubts were buried. Millions of lives were shaped by an event that at best was deeply distorted. If someone had said, "What if the attack wasn't real?" they would have been accused of treason. Years later, official records told a more complicated story. Now let's zoom out. What if the government tested mind control? That sounds like a bad spy movie. It was called MK Ultra. Beginning in the 1950s, the CIA conducted secret experiments to explore mind control techniques. They administered LSD and other drugs to unwitting participants, sometimes in hospitals, sometimes in prisons, sometimes in safe houses. Many subjects had no idea they were part of an experiment. Records were destroyed in 1973, but surviving documents and Senate investigations confirmed the program existed. The phrase "government mind control program" once triggered eye rolls. Now it's in official archives. And finally, something quieter, less dramatic, but deeply unsettling. Operation Northwoods. In 1962, top U.S. military officials drafted a proposal suggesting staged acts of terrorism against American citizens. The goal? To create public support for military action against Cuba. Fake hijackings, false attacks, real casualties. The plan was never approved by President Kennedy, but it was real enough to be written down, signed, circulated. At the time, if you claimed the government would consider harming its own people for strategic gain, you would have been labeled dangerous. Decades later, the documents were declassified. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Not every conspiracy theory is true. Most aren't. But history shows that some institutions are capable of deception, secrecy, and moral compromise. The pattern isn't fantasy. It's power, plus secrecy, plus fear. And when you mix those three, strange things happen. The real lesson isn't believe everything. It's also not dismiss everything. It's this: healthy skepticism is not paranoia. Blind trust is not wisdom. And sometimes the most unbelievable stories turn out to be official history. The question isn't whether conspiracies exist. It's whether we recognize them before they're declassified. Subscribe to Fact Flux for more unbelievable truths hiding in plain sight.